Hey guys, it's Mentality, and I'm going to be doing a 6 sharpshooters guide, or just a sharpshooters guide in general for TFT Set 4. Sharpshooters is one of my favorite comps for sure, and yeah, I just want to tell you guys how to play, because a lot of people think it requires 6 sharpshooter, or it requires certain items, and it really, really doesn't. This is one of the most consistent top 4 comps in the game. It's also one of the most consistently playable comps in the game, and I think people have a lot of misconceptions about sharpshooters, so I just want to clear things up. So when do you want to play sharpshooters? For me, I'm always down to play sharpshooters if I have any type of start where I have the 2 sharpshooters start. Any frontline plus 2 sharpshooters is a good start. For example, Brawler sharpshooter, or we can do Garen Thresh sharpshooter because we can get Dusk, right? And then we're 1 unit off of Warlords. So let's say we put Jarvan in there. Bam, we have Warlords too. And then we can have a Keeper, etc. We can build on this, right? Key points in the early game is getting one of these 2 starts, the Brawler Sharpshooter or the Vanguard Sharpshooter start. I personally like Brawler Sharpshooter a little bit more because it gives you an option to play Fortune, right? You just need Tom Kench, Jinx, Annie, and then bam, there's Fortune. But a key thing in this comp is that items are very, very flexible. So let's say I have the Brawler start. Any item, let's say, I don't know, here's an example. Here, we let's say we start with bow, giant spell. Okay, we're gonna slam a ZZ Rot every time for our front line, and then our third item is a tier, and then we get to neutrals, and we get a sword. That sounds pretty realistic, right? So then we can put Shojin on Nidalee. Key here is Nidalee can hold Nidalee and Teemo can hold any of your Jinx items, and Vayne can also hold Jhin items. Although I would recommend slamming Jinx items before Jhin items because Jhin items are a bit like they're both flexible, but I think the early game like Teemo with Shojin is really, really impactful. So moving on here, here's what a Fortune start would look like. We could play the Fortune angle to get more gold. If we hit that early Jinx, it's really, really good. Now, there are 2 different comps, right? There's chosen sharpshooter and no chosen sharpshooter. So here's an example of 6 sharpshooter with the chosen. Obviously, you're not going to get all these items, but some things that are really, really good here. This is a level 7 comp, right? 7 comp. So you can play support items on Teemo. They're really, really good on Teemo. Items like Zeke's and Chalice are really good on Jinx and Jhin. I think Zeke's is especially a pretty important item in this comp. If you somehow manage to hit 2 Zeke's, you're looking really, really good to top 4 that game or even win. Items on Jinx are incredibly flexible. She just really needs 1 ability damage item and then 1 mana item. Shojin is her best because every single sharpshooter bounce will proc Shojin, right? But she can also use blue buff. She can also use things like Ludens just fine. And Locket is also a really great item in sharpshooter because you're always going to have them lined up here in the back line, and Locket's just useful overall, right? Because she also gets the armor from Locket, so Talon's not going to aggro on her as often. But I think this is the best item set for Jinx here would be Shojin, Jeweled Gauntlet, and then either some sort of defensive item like a Locket, like a Quicksilver, like a GA, you know? And then supportive items will go on Teemo. Any sword items or Quicksilver. I think Quicksilver, if you get 2 Quicksilvers, you should put it on Jinx and Jhin, but your first Quicksilver should go on Jhin. And then any sword items on Jhin. Here's an example. This could also be other things like Infinity Edge, etc. And then really good frontline items for your frontline would be Gargoyle, ZZ Rot, Bramble, things like that. Probably not Dragon Claw though, because you want to use those for chalices and quicksilvers. But yeah, any solid solo frontline, Sejuani is the best solo frontliner in the game right now, so you want to go for that if you have the option. But this is an example of 6 sharpshooters at level 7. What I would add here to go level 8 and level 9 is definitely an Azir. It's just so broken with sharpshooters because it takes away the aggro from Talons and other assassins, right? It makes it impossible for them to reset. So let's say you hit this Azir, and then we're going to use Fioras as our Azir soldiers, right? You position it right here. If you have Quicksilver on this Jhin, he is completely safe. Aatrox can't pull him. Assassins can't reset onto him. He's just completely free to hit, right? And then what you can do is Azir can actually be a carry too. If you get an extra Teemo, you sell this Teemo, put Azir right here, the Teemo in, right? And then give Azir your supportive items. And this is incredibly strong. Now, usually on 6 sharpshooters, you want to slow roll for Jinx 3. You want to go level 7. Hit level 7. Every time you level, stay above 30 gold. Hit level 7. End up on a board kind of like this, like it was before the Azir, right? And you want to slow roll for Jinx. Jinx 3 is really strong. It's not required, but if you hit the Jinx 3, you're probably going top 4, probably top 2. You can also win lobbies with this. That's how good Jinx is. And I think it's really slept on right now. I don't know why, but you should abuse it because Jinx 3 is really, really strong. And but you don't need 6 sharpshooter. A lot of people think you need 6 sharpshooter. You definitely don't. 6 sharpshooter is maybe a bit better in terms of getting first places, but you can make the game work with 4 sharpshooter. So all you need for 4 sharpshooter is these 4 units right here, plus Sejuani, or not plus Sejuani, plus any chosen frontline. It could be Sejuani, it could be chosen Shen, it could be Mystic Shen or Adept Shen. It could be any good chosen frontline. That's really all you need. So let's say we hit 4 sharps, we have chosen Sejuani, and all of our item stuff applies. Chosen Sejuani, she's going to have like a ZZ Rot for sure. It's a really good item. And things like this, right? All we need, so this is what? 5 units? At level 7, we're going to build around this using, let's do, yeah, so we're missing Dusk, right? Okay, cool. Now we have 2 Dusk. Now we need Mystic. Spirit is another thing we can fill, or we can use a Fortune unit, right? Spirit Mystic. Who's Spirit Mystic? Yuumi. Oops. Yuumi. So this is a really, really fucking strong level 7 board. Like, this can carry you really far, especially once you're on Jinx level 2. Generally, what I like to do is when I hit level 7, I'll roll it down at least like 20-ish gold, so I can get my 4 costs. I'll try to get at least Sejuani and Jhin, or some sort of chosen frontline, right? And then also make sure that my Jinx is 2-star at level 7. And then I'm going to slow roll for Jinx, hit my Jinx 3, and then push level 9. Now, you can do this with not just Sejuani, you can also do this with any chosen frontline. Chosen Brawler is not ideal. If you hit Chosen Brawler, it's definitely playable. Like, let's say you hit Brawler Warwick or Brawler Nunu, something like this. It's definitely playable. I would use it just for desperation, but it can definitely take you to level 8, and you can sell that Chosen and you can roll down again. So once we're in late game, this is an example of playing around an Adept version. So we have our 4 sharpshooters, we have our Adept with our chosen Shen, and then level 8, I mean, we want to go for Azir, and you know, same thing with the positioning here, and the soldiers in the back line, so Jhin is safe, and then 4 Adepts here with Yone, Shen, and Irelia, chosen Adept, right? And this comp is just really flexible. It's an easy top 4. There's no way you're not top 4ing with this shit. It's just that good. And Jinx is so flexible. You can play support item Jinx with like Locket and this, and I don't know, let's say, where's Quicksilver at? Yeah, let's say you have Quicksilver and then this guy has these items, whatever, and then your frontline item. Jinx 3 is still gonna hard carry with this. He's gonna stun the entire board. He's gonna do a shit ton of damage. Jin's just gonna clean them up. Azir CC, Yone insane CC. My point is, this comp is really flexible. The items are flexible. The front line is flexible. The chosen is flexible. You can play this almost every game if you really want to, and it's a good top 4 comp. There are not very many lobbies where this won't top 4. You don't even need Jinx 3. Let's say you get to your level 7 board. Let's say you get to this board and you scout your lobby oh, you're kind of contested. There's a fortune guy, a 6 fortune guy, or there's another sharpshooter player. You can stay on Jinx 2, level up your Jin, hopefully, and just go fast 9 and end up on a board like this or a level 9 board like this. So let's say we add 2 more units to this, right? So what would we add? Every time it's a Zir at level 8, hopefully, if you hit a Zir. And then once you have this board, you can really do anything. Like, you can add another keeper if you want. You want to go level 9, throw in a Riven. You want to go level 9, throw in any like 2-star legendary. You can also replace Yumi with like a Zillion if you want. This is really flexible. Chosen or 2-star Lee Sin can fill up Duelist and Divine. Or not Divine, sorry, just Duelist. But, or no, not even Duelist because these are Fioras. But my point is, once you go level 9, you can add in anything that fills a synergy you want, or any of these 2-star legendaries are good. Just like Yon by himself, busted. Set by himself, pretty useful, right? Kayn by himself, really good. The only things I wouldn't add is like Ezreal without Dazzler or Lilia. Lilia sucks for the most part. But anything else, Lee Sin, Kayn, Set, Yon, Zillion, slam them every time at level 9. If you have the HP to go level 9, that's what you want. But yeah, this is my guide. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and check out my stream. It'll all be in the description. I play this comp a lot. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.